Issue of Wike and Fubara in Rivers State. It is not a case of a good person against a bad person. No, the two of them are the same terrible, power-drunk and useless politicians. Because it is always very easy to want to pity Fubara and say, a whole governor, why will he be humiliated so bad? Look at him now, yesterday or which they wanted to go present budget. They locked the gate against him in your state. Number one man of the state, they locked gate against you. It is very easy to want to pity him and say, and godfatherism, Wike is a bad person. But let me tell you something. This same godfatherism brought Fubara in, made Fubara the governor. Wike literally held this man by the hand and made him governor. The same godfatherism. Now you are coming out to tell us how bad Wike is. Can you tell us everything in total? How Wike made you governor? The contribution of Wike for you to be governor, if that will not blow everything up for you yourself. I am not in support of godfatherism, but this is a clear case of biting the fingers that fed you. And even if you go bite the fingers will feed you, maybe you go use sense bite them. No. Just in your first term, you're already attacking the person that brought you in. If you even chill, make second term come. By that time, you go don't even get your own route for the states. Hold everywhere tight. You say, okay, now you are ready to fight. You don't do your mind since so, but now when you do harm, you already have the background, you already have the backbone. You just they come. You never really even understand things yourself. You don't they show your true color. Can you imagine? And for Wike, the same problem too with you. This same thing don't happen between Tinubu and Abati for Lagos now. Look at how Tinubu handled that whole matter. He did not come out fighting like an area boy, just like Wike is doing. No. He waited for him. Second time reach, Abati didn't even get primary ticket. That is how a strategic politician should behave. Wike is just behaving like a tout. It's obvious Wike still has ambition. That man still wants to be president of this country. That's why he's putting strategy in place, just like Tinubu did, putting strategy in place, and now he's the president of the country. So Wike is already putting his own game plan. Okay, let this person be here. I trust this person. Let him be here. Let him handle this. Let him handle that. Trusting Fubara as part of the process. Now, see, they just put you there as Fubara. You never even reach how many years. Boom. See what you don't do. And now the same Wike, imagine somebody like Wike later becomes the president of this country. What is the hope of our democracy? It's even so shameful to imagine that you are the minister of the FCT. Just that you are performing, so we don't feel really complain.
Sim Fubara was denied access to the temporary legislative quarters where the Martins Amowule-led lawmakers seat. Fubara was at the premises to present the 2025 River State budget as mandated by the Supreme Court judgment. While speaking at the scene, the governor said he had formally contacted the speaker and other lawmakers, but received no response. Let's take a look.
Police, nobody to open the gate. I'm here myself this morning with members of the members of the council to comply with the Supreme Court judgment. Before my arrival, I've already made several attempts by phone call to reach the speaker and other members. I also did a letter personally which was transmitted to the Honorable Speaker for this particular invitation. But it's unfortunate that at the gates, you can see that the place is completely sealed and there's no sign that anything is going to happen today. The reason why we're doing this, I've always said it, is the interests of our people, which is the most important thing.
All right, reactions have trailed. Let me take this one from Yomi Nuga, who actually pulled up the video where Fubara had demolished the Rivers House of Assembly complex with the caption, "You started it, you denied them access to." Then, was it about a better River State where the interest of the people is considered paramount? Well, here's that video. That was that incident. Rufai, you know you're violent. What was happening? There was a bomb there. What was going on at that time? But you see, they weren't able to sit at that time. And now this is all happening all over again. Let me take another tweet from Characteristics, who wrote to Fubara, "You weren't denied access. You simply gate crashed at the assembly quarters. Fubara, could it be that your aides are still misleading you or have just chosen to continue your rhetorics of misleading the general public, all to gain sympathy?" And then he pulled up a link there. Then this user wrote, this is Mark, he wrote, "I commend Governor Sim Fubara for his democratic gesture of writing to Honorable Amowule requesting the presentation of the 2025 budget. However, in a surprising turn of events, the governor was locked out of the plenary session today This only shows that Wike's men are not for peace. Well, in the meantime, former Rivers State Governor and Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Wike, during a media parley on Wednesday, suggested that Governor Fubara should be impeached if found wanting, stating that impeachment is not a criminal offense. He also criticized the current state of the Rivers Assembly. Let's take a look.
Support an impeachment. If you have committed an offense to be impeached, what is wrong? Is it a criminal offense? It's provided in the Constitution.
You can't just wait till 2027 to vote him out.
Am I a member of the Assembly? The point I'm making, if you have committed an infraction of the Constitution and the Assembly deems it fit to say you should be impeached, let me tell you, politics is not played just like this. Is it the first person that will have something about impeachment? Don't you know what to do? What is all this good about it?
All right, the reactions are continuing to trail this plenary session. I mean, a lot of people have said that basically Wike has declared himself as the godfather of Rivers State. I think I also heard you say that early this morning during the newspaper headlines. But that's the rhetoric, and that's the way he's, postulating, portraying himself at this moment. But meanwhile, we've seen an old video following these reactions, which has resurfaced online, showing Wike accusing his predecessor, Rotimi Amechi, of abuse of power and destabilizing the Rivers State government. Let's take a look.
You can see his comments. So it is not in his place to decide. And it is that impunity, that godfatherism he wants to play. It is impunity. He will decide everything that happens. He will decide for your party. He will also decide for the entire River State. This state gave you governor for 8 years. Under this state, he became a minister. Is that the thank you give to the state for making you whom you are? For bringing you up to this level? Instead of you to see how you can hack this in your state, make your state of development. Each day you wake up is to cast aspersion on your state. That is not good. It is no person that has the sense will continue to do that. Because I believe, what do I gain? What do I gain as a person if I destroy my state? Of what benefit is it to me?
Of what benefit? I mean, that was Vimba. You saw that. I mean, he appeared really angry at the moment, and it was the one that did that song. As he dey sweet us, he go dey pain them. As he dey sweet us, he go. I mean, this was what was going on at the time, and you are here also giving the same impression that you are a godfather, and this is not what we need. The Rivers people need at this moment. Well, also during the media parley, Wike accused Bayelsa State Governor Doyo Diri of lacking character for organizing a South-South zonal political leaders meeting without inviting him and other National Assembly members. Wike suggested that Governor Diri is working in collaboration with Sim Fubara, adding that Diri once knelt before him to seek support. Let's take a look.
This Diri they are talking now, that's why when you put people in power. Where are the Minister of Petroleum? He brought Governor Diri to me in West Castle, where I was staying. This governor you are talking now, that's why when I look at people, I say character is something you cannot buy.
Absolutely, character is something you cannot buy. Well, in May 2022, Wike visited Governor Doyo Diri at the government house in Yenagoa to seek support ahead of the People's Democratic Party's presidential Congress, where Atiku Abubakar later emerged as the party's candidate for the 2023 election. Our correspondent, Ovieteme George, covered that meeting. Let's take a look.
I formally come to hand over myself to my brother. If I fail, he's one. If I win, he's one. Because he should be the one taking me round everywhere. Because what would people say? What would people say if he's not the one taking me round? What would people say? The whole world knows. Rivers people know. Bayelsas know. If anything happens to me, I fail. Hold him. Hold him. And if we win, he should take it. And that is the truth of the matter. I'm not coming here to play politics. I'm coming here to tell you the simple truth and nothing but the truth. As I speak to you, the moment you make a pronouncement today, everything is over. Everything is over.
This silent never. This life.
I think it was somebody that said, if you want to know the man that your mother dated before she met your father, go and do politics.
No, don't.
If you want to know the person, go and do politics. I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
When it doesn't fit the bill for them, they say things. All I just want Wike to do is, please, he who alleges must prove. He must show us with empirical proof the picture where Doye Diri was kneeling down for him to beg him for this power. That's just it. Secondly, see, the case of godfatherism in this country is a very long line. At some point in Oyo State, we had the likes of Adedibu. But at some point, once Adedibu died, Molete stopped being the seat of power in Oyo State. We can even go back historically. There's been many godfathers. Talked about the Wild Wild West. We remember the factionalization of the AG, Akitola and Awolowo. Godfathers will come, they will go. At some point, Wike got a lot of support because he was fighting godfathers. He too has become godfathers of Fubara.
That's it.
We've always also noted the idea that in a case if Fubara is successful in this fight, he too will probably become, because it's the game they play. This is never about the interests of the Rivers people. Take that out. As regards that video being shown, yes, Fubara also need to answer. Because till today we don't know how all of a sudden the National State House of Assembly was bombed in Rivers. And the next thing we heard that they are coming to demolish so that they will not be able to sit. So he also needs to answer for that. Just like they're also saying that Mr. Wike too should answer with all that he's doing with his 27 lawmakers. And you see, once people gain advantage, they use it to their own benefit. But in all of this, I'm very shocked that they are drawing us into their wahala. Because when Fubara and Wike were agreeing, we were not there. When they were using each other, we were not there. Now it's a fight over the resource and the state in general, or the supremacy in the state. They are pulling all of us in. The last point I'll make before I leave it out is this. Like I said before, Fubara should watch it. He might be on his way to impeachment. I'm not seeing this fight ending just like that. Mr. Wike has gotten the upper hand with the courts, and a man that can get a Supreme Court judgment, Dr. Abati, like you were saying, is not that easy. Yes, I know, by the Constitution and the law, it's not that easy. But a man that has gotten a Supreme Court judgment, that the 27 lawmakers are in his hands today, when he decides to make his move at impeachment, we will all be here, we will all analyze it. By that time, if the judge chooses not to play ball, he will now see who the godfather is in the States. I'm not happy calling one man a godfather in a democracy, but that's the way we have made our democracy. Except we change it, nothing will work.
I think, Bimba, you want to make a sentence about the godfather. I
Very
heard
quickly.
you.
You know, internationally, we're seeing a case study for the laws of power playing out. Number one, with international relations, they say there's always permanent interests, but there are no permanent friends. And what we've seen there is that in full display through the timeline of Nyesom Wike's career. That's number one. Number two, on Sim Fubara's side, is they didn't teach him the law that if you're going to fight someone, you need to fight somebody to win. When you choose to pick a fight, you need to ensure that you can win, because a partial victory is more dangerous than a defeat. So I think in all of this, none of them really played their... Initially, Fubara did not play his cards right. He started so aggressively, demolishing buildings, this. And then somewhere down the line, he has seemed to have lost momentum in this fight, because this was a declaration of war, as far as I'm concerned. Now he's lost momentum. But with regards to the godfatherism and, you know, the relationships between power broking and all of that, I think it will always exist in every system. However, what Nyesom Wike is showing us is how deep it is in this particular system. And it's such it's so indicting for the people who... What people go through to vote every 4 years it's painful, it's strenuous. You hear all of the stories just to know that, well, somebody was handpicked and then one or two things happened and, you know, I can make you, I can break you.
Right. I mean, Dr. Martin, before I come to you, should I play this song that was being trending? I mean, basically it just came during this moment. I mean, it was last year. Fubara must obey Wike's song. Let's pull that up before I come to you, Dr. Abati. All right, that was the song that was trending at the time when that whole incident occurred, and now it has resurfaced, and the new song is in River State.
Well, it was Karl Marx that first said, history repeats itself.
Absolutely.
First as a tragedy, second as farce. What we're seeing in River State is that history is building up before our very eyes as a tragedy and also as a farce at the same time. A tragedy, in part, because of the kind of behavior that you have seen on the part of some of the people. Those people dancing Fubara must obey Wike. That's very tragic for democracy.
I've never seen anything.
These are the same Rivers people, a segment of that population that we keep fighting for, saying that they are the ones who will be shortchanged. But you will find enough characters in that same state who will say, yes, we are supporting the Godfather against the same person that they claim to have elected into office. What is happening is also farcical because of the back and forth between the parties involved. It was Dr. I think Alabo George is his name, the spokesperson of the House of Assembly, saying, well, Wike is withholding our salaries. Wike demolished our sitting place. Wike, we asked him to bring Fubara demolished our building. Fubara, we asked him to bring his list of commissioners, a fresh list. He has not done so. We asked him to do this, we asked him to do that. He has not done that. Now he is saying we are locking him out. So you have that tit for tat in that place. And it's very unfortunate because, as we have pointed out, it's the people that will be shortchanged. Now, Minister Wike says impeachment is not an issue. Heavens will not fall. Yes, under the Constitution, the only thing that the House of Assembly needs to prove is gross misconduct. And gross misconduct is as they explain it. And the court of law cannot even inquire into what that gross misconduct constitutes. That was why I was saying earlier that it's not automatic, because Section 188 of the 1999 Constitution tells you about the process. If they raise allegations against the governor, then the chief judge, Honorable Justice Abati, will be required to set up a panel of 7 who will investigate. Now, that Section 188 says if they cannot prove the allegations, if they don't find sure grounds for the allegations, then the case will not go forward. Right. So it's not as if somebody will sit in Abuja and say, if he's impeached, this is stage 1 of the drama. There will be more drama to come from Rivers State, and then you have on the other side the IYC and the Ijaw National Congress saying there will be mayhem if anybody tries to impeach Fubara. Now, that leg of that story about impeachment. The second leg of it is Mark Twain, Samuel Clemens, that was his real name. He said history does not repeat itself, but it rhymes. Now, the rhythmical nature of history is the second thing that you pointed out in what he said about Doye Diri.
Yes.
Now, the same Minister Wike that is saying Doye Diri lacks character. When he wanted to be presidential candidate of the PDP, he went to the same Doye Diri to go and solicit his support. But now he says Diri organizes meetings of South leaders. He doesn't invite him because he's supporting Simeon Fubara. Do you see the rhyme there? And then on the other hand, the same man who was condemning Amechi,
yes,
saying the people of Rivers State made him minister. Yeah. How can you be minister and you are trying to destroy your own state? The irony. Is it not the same thing that he himself is doing now?
That's the question.
So it's history, we may add, may be very ironic. But I conclude by saying that President Tinubu should take an interest in what is happening in Rivers State, because what is happening there, the planning, the farce, the tragedy, let it not end up, affecting the larger Nigerian polity, with Ijaw youths and the Ijaw National Council saying that Nigeria will be sabotaged economically. Yeah. And that was why I made the reference to the Wild Wild West episode in the First Republic. The people of Rivers State must be called to order. Absolutely. The gladiators must be called to order, that they must not derail this democracy. Absolutely. And it's not about President Tinubu telling Fubara to eat the humble pie, to stoop to conquer, after the fashion of Oliver Goldsmith's play of the same title. It is also for the president to call the other group to order.
Absolutely.
The people who are saying there will be trouble. That trouble will not fall only on their heads.
Right.
And this country belongs to all of us.
Well said, Dr. Abati. This country belongs to all of us. In another development, residents of Gishiri community in the Federal Capital Territory, whose homes have been demolished, are appealing to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike to come to their aid as they have been left homeless and are unable to afford the high cost of rent in Abuja. The residents' homes and businesses were said to have been demolished because they were built within the right-of-way of a road project set for completion by May 2025.
Compensate us. They should come and compensate us.
Some people they work now, they don't destroy their house before they come.
It has not been easy to rent house now. Landlords in other areas, they have increased house rents. Landlords, they have increased their houses. You can't even get a comfortable place here. Any place in Abuja for 300,000. We are suffering.
Oh, this was so heartbreaking to see him by yesterday when I saw this story. Apparently, the minister had supervised the demolition, or had come to that area, huge spans of land on Tuesday. And, he had met resistance at that point. And he was there with security operatives, and they actually used tear gas to disperse the protesters that were out there. And he was saying that, the residents were given enough time to move out of their place. But, we are seeing our economy, we're seeing, the nation, the state of the nation at this moment. These people are displaced, and they are crying out for help.
Specific parts of certain cities. However, I definitely think there is a housing crisis that we are neglecting, because house rent has become simply unaffordable. Absolutely. And not just for an entry-level accommodation. We are talking even those who before could afford luxury accommodation. Yes. Now it's gone up by 200%. The inflation is not up to 200%. So what are we using it's become very extortionary in my opinion. So I think there's definitely a conversation that needs to be had around house rent right now.